Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." You might not realize it, but the way people react to you often reveals a truth you've overlooked. You're more attractive than you think. Attraction isn't just about looks, it's about energy, presence, and the way you carry yourself. Stoicism teaches that true confidence and attractiveness come from within, yet the external world constantly reflects our inner state back at us. If people treat you a certain way, it's because they perceive something about you, something compelling, something magnetic. Watch until the end, because you might be surprised to learn just how much of an impact you already have. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's dive into the 7 undeniable signs you are more attractive than you think. Chapter 1. Receiving regular compliments. Most people don't go out of their way to compliment someone unless they genuinely feel compelled to. If you frequently receive compliments on your appearance, style, or even your presence, it's a strong indication that people find you attractive. You may dismiss them as politeness or small talk, but consider this: how often do you compliment someone unless something about them truly stands out? Compliments serve as subtle, socially acceptable ways for people to express admiration. Sometimes, it's an excuse to interact with you, to break the ice without making it obvious. Think about the last time you gave someone a compliment. Was it forced, or did you genuinely feel the need to acknowledge something remarkable about them? More often than not, people are sincere when they give compliments, even if they don't fully express their deeper thoughts. A simple nice shirt could really mean you have great taste and put effort into your appearance. A casual "you always seem so confident" might be someone's way of saying, "I find your presence magnetic." But the Stoic perspective reminds us that external validation shouldn't define our self-worth. Marcus Aurelius emphasized focusing on what we control: our actions, our mindset, and our growth. Attractiveness extends beyond just physical traits. It's about the energy you radiate. If people are drawn to you enough to compliment you, it means you possess a trait that captivates them, whether it's confidence, poise, or a distinctive style. It's not just about good looks, it's about how you carry yourself. The way you enter a room, how you speak, your posture, these small details shape how others perceive you. Even if you don't see yourself as exceptionally good-looking, remember this: people wouldn't take the time to acknowledge your presence unless they were genuinely drawn to you. Attraction isn't always loud, sometimes it's whispered through fleeting moments of admiration. You might not notice all the time someone steals a glance at you, hesitates before speaking, or subtly adjusts their posture when you're around. These small signs indicate that your presence has an impact. However, true confidence isn't built on how others see you, it's built on how you see yourself. While receiving compliments is a strong external signal of attraction, what truly matters is how you internalize them. Do you brush them off, doubting their sincerity? Or do you accept them with gratitude and self-assurance? Learning to acknowledge and appreciate the admiration you receive without becoming dependent on it is key. The more you embrace your unique qualities, the more naturally attractive you become, not just to others, but to yourself. Chapter 2. People value your opinion over others. There's a reason why some men walk into a room and command attention effortlessly, while others struggle to be heard. It's not just about what they say, it's about how they say it. The halo effect is a psychological phenomenon where people subconsciously associate physical attractiveness with intelligence, trustworthiness, and competence. If you've ever found yourself in situations where others defer to your judgment, actively seek your advice, or naturally follow your lead, it may be a subtle yet undeniable sign that they find you attractive. But make no mistake, this isn't just about looks. Attraction goes far beyond physical appearance. What truly separates high-value men from the rest is their presence. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that cultivating wisdom, clarity, and rational thought gave a man an unshakable foundation. When you carry yourself with self-assurance, when your words are deliberate and your thoughts well-formed, people feel it. They may not consciously recognize it, but they instinctively gravitate toward that energy. A man who is certain of his own mind holds a quiet power. He does not chase approval, nor does he shape his words to fit what others want to hear. He speaks with conviction because he has taken the time to understand his own principles. This certainty, this ability to think independently, is one of the most magnetic qualities a man can possess. And people, especially women, are drawn to it. If you often find yourself in conversations where others ask for your perspective before making decisions, where your opinion carries more weight than the average person's, you are experiencing the effect of this unspoken attraction. People don't just respect you, they trust you. They assume that your insight is worth more. They turn to you when uncertainty clouds their judgment because they recognize something steady and reliable within you. This is something the great Stoics exemplified. Marcus Aurelius, despite being one of the most powerful men in history, never sought dominance through force or arrogance. Instead, his wisdom and composure commanded respect. His ability to remain level-headed in times of crisis made others trust him instinctively. That same principle applies to modern attraction. Women are not drawn to men who are constantly seeking validation. They are drawn to men who know themselves so well that they naturally inspire confidence in others. But here's the catch: many men don't realize they possess this power. They assume that people come to them for advice simply out of habit or convenience, failing to see the deeper reason behind it. If women consistently value your input, if they look to you in moments of uncertainty, it's because they sense something about you that is rare, certainty in a world of hesitation. And certainty, much like confidence, is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. Think about how you carry yourself in conversations. Do people pause when you speak, genuinely listening instead of waiting for their turn to talk? Do they nod in agreement, mirroring your conclusions as if your words hold a weight they can't ignore? Do they hesitate before disagreeing, not out of fear, but out of deep respect for your perspective? These are the silent indicators that you have an aura of influence, one that stems from both your presence and your mind. But this influence isn't about controlling others or proving yourself right. The Stoics taught that a man's power lies in his ability to remain centered, to lead with wisdom rather than arrogance. You don't need to force people to value your opinion. When you are truly grounded, they will seek it naturally. They will respect you without needing to be told. And respect, whether people realize it or not, is deeply intertwined with attraction. So pay attention to how people respond to you. If they seek your guidance, if they trust your judgment over others, if they look to you in times of uncertainty, it's because they perceive something in you, something solid, something rare, something undeniably attractive. You are more than just a man with good looks or a sharp mind. You are a man of presence, and the world notices. Chapter 3: People mirror your body language. One of the most subconscious yet powerful indicators of attraction is mirroring, when someone unconsciously copies your gestures, posture, or speech patterns. This isn't just a random quirk of human behavior. It's a deep-rooted psychological response known as the chameleon effect, a natural way of building connection and rapport. If you start noticing that people subtly adopt your mannerisms, whether it's the way you sit, the way you gesture, or even the way you speak, it's a strong sign that they feel drawn to you on a deeper level. This mirroring is not something people do consciously. It happens instinctively, driven by an underlying desire to establish harmony with someone they admire or feel connected to. When a woman leans in when you do, when she takes a sip of her drink right after you, or when she adopts your tone and pace of speech, she's subconsciously signaling, "I see you. I like you. I want to be in sync with you." This is one of the clearest signs of attraction because it bypasses words entirely. Mirroring is rooted in psychology, but it's also an evolutionary trait. From an early age, humans mimic those they respect and want to build bonds with. You see it in children imitating their parents, in students subtly mirroring the gestures of a charismatic teacher, and, of course, in attraction between men and women. When a woman mirrors your body language, it means she feels safe, comfortable, and drawn to your presence, whether she realizes it or not. But here's where most men fail to recognize their own attractiveness. They assume that attraction must always be loud and obvious. They expect direct compliments, lingering stares, or playful teasing. While these signs certainly exist, true attraction often operates in the background, silently influencing behavior. A woman might not tell you she's into you, but her body language will reveal everything. If she subconsciously aligns her movements with yours, it means your presence has affected her on a deeper, instinctual level. The Stoics were masters of self-awareness. They understood that true influence comes not from chasing others, but from how we compose ourselves. Marcus Aurelius didn't beg for respect, he commanded it through his demeanor and wisdom. The same applies to attraction. If people naturally reflect your energy, it's not because you're forcing anything. It's because they are drawn to something about you, your confidence, your presence, your unshakable self-assurance. This mirroring effect doesn't just apply to physical gestures. It extends to speech patterns, emotional expressions, and even energy levels. If you remain calm and composed, you may notice that others start to match your relaxed demeanor. If you're animated and enthusiastic, they might unconsciously mirror that excitement. This is why confident men naturally set the tone in social interactions, others adjust to them, not the other way around. But here's the key, this type of influence isn't forced. It's not about trying to get someone to mirror you. It happens naturally when you hold a certain level of presence. The more grounded and self-assured you are, the more others will want to match your energy. Women, in particular, respond to this instinctively. They seek stability, presence, and authenticity. If your presence commands attention without effort, if people subtly mimic your movements and energy, it means they recognize something powerful within you, something worth aligning with. Most men walk through life oblivious to these subtle cues. They fail to notice the woman who unconsciously leans closer, who matches their pacing during a walk, or who starts using similar phrases in conversation. But the men who do recognize these signs understand that attraction is often unspoken. They move with confidence, knowing that their energy alone is enough to draw people in. So the next time you're in a conversation, pay attention. Watch how people react to you. Do they adjust their posture to match yours? Do they adopt your rhythm of speech? Do they reflect your expressions, your enthusiasm, or your body language? If so, understand what's happening beneath the surface. You are affecting them on an instinctual level. They are drawn to your presence, whether they consciously acknowledge it or not. The Stoics taught that attraction, influence, and respect are not demanded, they are commanded through how we carry ourselves. If people mirror your body language without realizing it, take it as a sign that you hold a quiet yet undeniable power over them. Attraction isn't always spoken. Sometimes, it's reflected right back at you. Chapter 4. People ask you many questions. Curiosity is one of the most powerful indicators of attraction. When people, especially women, ask you a lot of questions, it means they are genuinely interested in understanding who you are. They're not just making small talk, they're drawn to you, intrigued by your presence, and eager to uncover what makes you unique. This type of curiosity is not random. People don't waste their time asking about someone who doesn't interest them. If you notice that women remember small details from your conversations, follow up on things you mentioned in passing, or seem deeply engaged when you talk, it's a clear sign that you hold their attention in a way most men don't. It's not just about attraction, it's about fascination. Attractive people naturally create a sense of mystery. They don't feel the need to overshare, prove themselves, or seek validation. Instead, they let their presence do the talking. This subtle confidence makes others want to know more. When a woman asks you questions, it's often because she wants to extend the conversation, find common ground, and build a connection. She's investing her time and energy in you because she sees you as valuable. But what makes a person so intriguing that others feel compelled to ask them questions? The answer lies in how you carry yourself. The Stoics believed that a man should cultivate an inner world so rich and fulfilling that it naturally draws people in. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoics, was admired not because he sought attention, but because he embodied wisdom, strength, and quiet confidence. His presence alone made others seek his thoughts and insights. The same principle applies to attraction. A man who moves through life with purpose, who speaks with conviction, and who remains grounded in his values creates an aura of mystery. People sense that there is more beneath the surface, and they want to uncover it. This is why the most attractive men are often the ones who listen more than they speak. They don't spill their entire life story in the first few minutes. They don't try to impress with words. Instead, they allow others to earn the right to know them. This controlled approach to communication makes people lean in. It makes them feel that getting to know you is a privilege, not a given. And when someone feels that they have to work a little harder to gain your attention, they value it more. That's why women who are drawn to you will ask questions, not just for the sake of conversation, but because they want to feel closer to you. Think about it, if a woman is indifferent to you, she won't put in the effort to dig deeper. She won't remember your stories. She won't ask how your weekend was or follow up on something you mentioned days ago. But if she's constantly engaging you in conversation, if she's actively trying to keep the dialogue going, it means she sees you as someone worth knowing. But there's another aspect to this, one that separates men who are passively attractive from those who command attraction. If people ask you questions, it's not enough to simply answer them. You must engage them in a way that deepens the intrigue. Instead of just responding with facts, turn conversations into something more engaging. Keep a sense of mystery. Give just enough information to keep them wanting more. This is where most men go wrong. When a woman asks them questions, they either shut down and give short, one-word answers, or they overshare and spill everything all at once. Neither of these approaches is effective. The first kills the conversation, while the second removes any sense of mystery. The key is balance. Share insights, but not everything. Reveal parts of yourself over time, rather than all at once. Make her earn the deeper layers of who you are. The Stoic way of life is not about boasting or trying to impress others. It's about embodying a presence so strong that others are naturally drawn to it. If people show genuine curiosity about your thoughts, experiences, or passions, it means they recognize something in you that is rare, something worth exploring. This level of intrigue is a byproduct of confidence and purpose. A man who has a rich internal world never struggles to hold attention because his life itself is interesting. He doesn't need gimmicks or tricks. His passions, his mindset, and his presence speak for him. Women sense this. They can tell when a man is living with direction, and they want to be part of that world. So the next time you notice someone asking you questions, especially if they're remembering small details, showing genuine engagement, or finding reasons to continue the conversation, understand what's happening beneath the surface. They are drawn to you. They are captivated by what you bring to the table. They want to uncover more about you because they see value in who you are. This is one of the clearest signs that you are far more attractive than you think. People don't invest time and effort into those they find uninteresting. If others feel compelled to ask about your life, your thoughts, and your experiences, it's because you've captured their attention in a way that few men do. And when you carry yourself with quiet confidence, when you live with purpose, and when you allow your actions to speak louder than words, you will find that the world will always be curious about you. Chapter 5. You have hobbies, passions, or interests. A man without passion is a man without depth. When there is no fire inside, no pursuit that fuels his soul, he becomes dull, just another face in the crowd. But a man who is driven by something greater than himself, who immerses himself in his craft, his ideas, or his discipline, stands out in ways that are impossible to ignore. Passion is one of the most attractive forces in human nature. It captivates, it inspires, and it makes people want to be around you. Think about it, when someone talks about something they love, their entire presence shifts. Their voice changes, their eyes light up, and their energy becomes contagious. That's because passion isn't just about the activity itself, it's about what it represents. A man with hobbies and interests has a source of internal fulfillment. He doesn't wait for the world to entertain him, he creates his own excitement, his own meaning. This kind of self-sufficiency is rare, and it's precisely why it's so attractive. Women, in particular, are drawn to men with purpose. A man who has a deep love for his craft, whether it's philosophy, martial arts, music, business, or anything that challenges him, he demonstrates qualities that are universally appealing: discipline, ambition, and a commitment to self-growth. These are the traits of a man who isn't easily swayed by outside opinions, who doesn't rely on others to define his worth. And when a man doesn't need approval, he naturally commands respect. Stoicism teaches that fulfillment doesn't come from chasing external pleasures, but from finding meaning in what we do. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Many men spend their days numbing themselves, scrolling endlessly on their phones, consuming distractions, living passively instead of actively shaping their lives. But the man who dedicates himself to a pursuit, who sharpens his mind and body through meaningful effort, becomes a force to be reckoned with. This is why men who are deeply engaged in their passions don't need to chase women. Women are naturally drawn to them. A man who is lost in his work, who is constantly striving to improve, creates an aura of mystery and intrigue. He doesn't need to seek validation because his fulfillment comes from within. And paradoxically, this detachment from external approval makes him even more desirable. But there's another layer to this. Passion isn't just about impressing others, it's about who you become in the process. A man who commits himself to learning an instrument, mastering a sport, or building a business develops patience, resilience, and focus. These qualities shape his character, making him someone who commands admiration, not because he asks for it, but because he embodies it. Women respect men who have their own world, their own mission, their own driving force. No woman wants to be the sole reason for a man's existence. The most attractive men are those who live for something beyond just relationships. They have dreams, ambitions, and challenges that fuel them. And when a woman enters their life, she isn't the center of their world, she's drawn into it. This creates a dynamic that is far more appealing than a man who constantly seeks approval and direction from others. In contrast, a man without hobbies, without passions, lacks depth. He's boring. He's forgettable. He becomes dependent on others for entertainment, validation, and purpose. Women can sense this immediately. They don't want a man who sits around waiting for life to happen. They want a man who makes things happen. The kind of man who wakes up every morning excited to pursue something meaningful. Passion also creates a natural sense of confidence. A man who knows his craft, who dedicates time to something meaningful, exudes certainty in himself. And confidence is one of the most powerful forms of attraction. It's not about arrogance, it's about knowing who you are and having the discipline to shape your own path. The man who has control over his own development, who is constantly improving, naturally attracts admiration. But here's the key: passion must be genuine. It can't be something you pretend to have just to impress others. It has to be something you truly care about, something that lights a fire inside you. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be martial arts, writing, philosophy, mechanics, fitness, or entrepreneurship. What matters is the dedication you bring to it, the way you invest yourself fully into something meaningful. A man who has deep interests and pursuits never needs to worry about whether or not is attractive. His passion alone sets him apart. It makes him magnetic. It gives him purpose. It makes him memorable. Women respect and admire men who have a reason to get up in the morning, men who are fueled by their own ambitions. And the best part? This kind of passion benefits you just as much as it attracts others. Because at the end of the day, attraction isn't just about looking good or saying the right things, it's about the energy you bring to life. A man who is deeply involved in something meaningful doesn't need to prove his value. His actions speak for him. His passion radiates. And that's what makes him truly irresistible. Chapter 6. You make people nervous or flustered. Attraction isn't always loud or obvious. In fact, some of the strongest signals of attraction are found in the smallest, most subtle behaviors, things that people often don't even realize they're doing. Have you ever noticed someone stammering when they talk to you? Fidgeting with their hands? Avoiding eye contact, then stealing quick glances when they think you're not looking? Maybe they suddenly become overly energetic or laugh at things that aren't even funny. These aren't random reactions, they are subconscious signs that your presence is affecting them in ways they can't fully control. When someone is attracted to you, their body reacts before their mind even processes what's happening. The nervous system kicks into overdrive, releasing adrenaline and heightening sensitivity. This can cause involuntary actions, fumbling with objects, playing with their hair, adjusting their clothing, or speaking faster than usual. It's not that they feel uncomfortable around you, it's that they feel something they can't quite explain. Their body is betraying their emotions, revealing a hidden attraction that they might not even be fully aware of yet. This is one of the biggest reasons why many men fail to recognize their own attractiveness. When women act awkward or overly animated around them, they assume it's because of disinterest or discomfort. They mistake nervousness for rejection. But in reality, the opposite is often true. The more someone is drawn to you, the more they struggle to maintain their usual composure. They might blush when you speak, struggle to find the right words, or suddenly become overly self-conscious about their actions. These are all clues if you know how to read them. The Stoics understood this type of influence. Epictetus taught that power isn't about forcing reactions from people, it's about the quiet, effortless command you have over a room simply by being who you are. A man who carries himself with presence, with unwavering self-assurance and internal stability, creates a ripple effect in the people around him. He doesn't need to demand attention, his very existence draws it in. And that's precisely why people might get flustered in your presence. Women, in particular, are highly sensitive to energy. They pick up on confidence, composure, and silent strength. When a man moves through the world with certainty, when he is deeply grounded in himself, he becomes difficult to ignore. Women might not always express attraction in direct ways, but their bodies will often reveal the truth. If you consistently notice women shifting in their seats when you enter the room, touching their necks or lips more often while talking to you, or struggling to maintain steady eye contact, it's a clear indication that they feel something. And that something is attraction. But here's where most men make a critical mistake: they downplay their effect on others. They assume that because no one is openly confessing their interest, attraction isn't there. This couldn't be further from the truth. The strongest attraction is often silent, subtle, hidden beneath layers of social politeness and personal insecurities. Many people don't even know how to process their own emotions in the moment. They just feel different around you without fully understanding why. That's why paying attention to these small cues is essential. Think about it. How often have you been in a situation where someone seemed unusually nervous or animated around you? Have you ever noticed someone avoiding direct eye contact, only to glance at you repeatedly when they think you're not watching? Have you seen someone fidget with their clothing, straighten their posture, or suddenly change their tone when speaking to you? These aren't just quirks or coincidences. They are subtle indicators that you are more attractive than you think. But the key isn't to let this knowledge make you arrogant. The goal of Stoicism is self-mastery, not external validation. When you understand that people are reacting to your presence, you don't need to chase their approval or seek confirmation of your attractiveness. You simply continue to carry yourself with confidence, discipline, and quiet strength. You focus on being the best version of yourself, and the right people will naturally respond. So the next time you notice someone stumbling over their words, fidgeting in your presence, or laughing a little too hard at something you said, don't brush it off as coincidence. Recognize it for what it is, proof that your presence has an undeniable effect on those around you. You don't need to seek attraction. You don't need to force it. When you carry yourself with confidence, respect, and composure, attraction happens. And if you've been overlooking these signs, it's time to start paying attention. Because the truth is, you are far more attractive than you think. Chapter 7. People respect you without you forcing it. Respect is one of the purest indicators of attraction, yet it often goes unnoticed. Most men are so focused on direct signs, compliments, flirting, obvious attention, that they miss the subtle but powerful way people show admiration, through respect. When people admire someone, whether consciously or subconsciously, they treat them differently. They listen more attentively, value their presence, and instinctively hold back from unnecessary challenges or disrespect. If you find that others naturally respect you, hesitate before interrupting you, or acknowledge your presence in a way that feels different, it's a sign that they see something in you, something strong, something rare, something valuable. Respect is never something that can be demanded, it is something that must be commanded. And it's not commanded through force, aggression, or desperate attempts to be noticed. It's cultivated through presence, composure, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. The Stoics understood that true power comes not from external validation, but from mastering oneself. Marcus Aurelius didn't seek admiration, he lived by principles so solid that admiration was inevitable. A man who carries himself with quiet strength, discipline, and unwavering self-control possesses a gravitational pull that others cannot ignore. This type of respect manifests in ways most people don't even recognize. Have you ever noticed that when you walk through a crowd, people instinctively move aside for you? That in conversations, others pause to hear your thoughts, giving your words more weight than those around you. Or that people seem to watch you for cues, mirroring your body language, adjusting their tone to match yours? These aren't coincidences. They are signs of unspoken influence. Women, in particular, may show deference to you or not out of intimidation, but because they sense something in your presence that commands admiration without the need for words. Many men believe that attraction is something loud, something that needs to be performed, showcased, or won through external displays of power. But true attraction is often silent. It's in the way people instinctively treat you with a level of care and reverence they don't extend to just anyone. It's in the small pauses, the quiet acknowledgements, and the subtle shifts in behavior that signal they view you as someone of significance. The Stoic approach to attraction is simple: stop chasing approval and start embodying the traits that make a man truly valuable. When you master yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your discipline, the world responds to you differently. You no longer have to force respect, it comes to you effortlessly. If you notice that people give you space, listen when you speak, and treat you as someone of worth without you demanding it, then understand this: it's not by accident. They recognize something in you that even you may not fully see yet. Most men go their entire lives doubting their own value, oblivious to the way the world reacts to them. But not you. Now, you have the awareness to see it. You know that if people instinctively respect you, admire you, or hesitate before crossing a line with you, it's because you carry something powerful within you, something that doesn't need to be shouted to be heard. This is the mark of a man who is truly attractive, not because he seeks attention, but because he commands it effortlessly. So now, the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you step into your power fully, embracing the quiet authority that makes others take notice? Or will you continue to underestimate yourself, waiting for more obvious signs of attraction that you don't even need? The choice is yours. If you enjoyed this, like the video, subscribe for more, and comment below which of these signs resonated with you the most. Let's hear your thoughts. Attraction isn't just about looks, it's about presence, energy, and how you carry yourself. The truth is, most men have no idea how magnetic they really are. They miss the signals, overlook the respect they command, and underestimate the impact they have on others. But now, you know the signs. If people mirror your body language, if they ask you endless questions, if they get flustered in your presence or instinctively respect you without you forcing it, you are far more attractive than you've ever given yourself credit for. The Stoics believed in mastering the self, not chasing external validation. Attraction isn't something you beg for, it's something you cultivate through confidence, purpose, and unwavering composure. When you focus on becoming a man of value, the world will naturally take notice. You don't have to try to be attractive. You just have to embody strength, integrity, and self-respect, and the right people will be drawn to you without a word. So now, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you walk taller, speak with more conviction, and finally start seeing yourself the way others already do? Let me know in the comments which of these signs you've noticed in your own life. Like the video, subscribe for more, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. You're more attractive than you think. It's time to own it.